Hi, recently we took a trip to Flathead Lake in Montana. It's about an hour north of Missoula. It's a gorgeous lake with state campgrounds all around it. Now, we took a trip around the entire lake and went in and reviewed each and every campground. We did individual site reviews for you. There is a big difference. There's some you don't want to take a big rig into, and others that are very nice, some that aren't quite as close to the lake as they would seem. And there is definitely one premium campground. So please see all the videos that I've done. Thank you, and I hope this helps you. And West Shore was the campground we actually ended up camping at, and it wasn't quite what we expected from the website when we got there. So I think it's important that you watch this video and hope that it helps you out as you are making your decision as to where to camp.
Now, if you're tent campers, you can come down here and camp right on the edge of the lake. Very nice. But RVs are way up on the hill. So, B1, nice, wide, long pull through. This is a good site. Looks a little bit unlevel, but not bad. As far as the back end, this is B2, and it actually does have a lake view off through the trees, but you can actually truly see the lake. This whole entire loop is up a hill from the lake, so nothing is right there lakefront except for those few tent sites, and those you had to hike your tent equipment down into it. Now B4 is not a bad site. It actually does have some lake views, but it's right next to the porta potty, so whether you get any stink from it or not, I don't know. You might. B5 is similar to ours. A back end, not overly large, but it works. But you do not really have a lake view. Just very heavy treed on the other side towards the lake. This is Hugo, and this site is B5, which is a nice site. Again, no real lake view, but nice long site, pull through site. B7, our site. It's a back end site. It's not bad. They say lake view, but if you want to consider that a lake view, I mean, you can see some blue off through little tiny patches of blue between the trees. Now, B8 is a nice site. It has little more of a lake view, not much, still heavy tree, but a very long, nice pull through site. B9 is one just like ours. B10 is just like ours. B11 is like ours with a little more of a lake view, not much. B12 is the same. Not a bad site, nice and deep. Some lake views, a little more than ours. This says it's B13 and B14. Now, there's trails going up, which makes me think these are tent sites. I don't know anything about them, honestly. A second pit toilet for the loop. And there are scattered water spigots around, so you can come here and fill up your RV. Now down here at the end of the loop, it appears that they are more tent sites, unless you were supposed to park in this area and that area and over here, but they're sectioned off parking spots like a parking lot, so I'm thinking these are just for tents. But of course, like all the other places around here, the tents have the best views. I guess maybe they figure if people have to rough it in a tent, they might as well get rewarded with a better view. That's B Loop, which is the trailer loop that has power, at least, to each RV site. And again, scattered water spigots to be able to fill up your trailer once you get here. So now we're driving through Wayfarers Campground, which is on the northeast side of the lake. Number 4 looks very nice. Takes some leveling. Pull-through spot though. Number 2 is the camp host. Number 5 is a back end, but not very deep. So you'd have to have a shorter unit for 5. Number 6 is buried off in the trees, but reasonable size, I guess. 7 is another nice pull through. 8 is a shorter back end, fairly level though. 9 is a back end, reasonably deep. 10 is a fairly shallow back end, quite shallow actually. 11 is a fairly shallow back end too. 13 is a pull through that doesn't look too bad. And 12 is another very shallow back end. Come 14 is fairly tight pull through, but not too bad, but exposed to the road. And 15 is a nice deep pull through, but with a fair amount of slope to it. And 16 is a back end, but looks relatively deep. And 17 is reasonably deep and well treed, so not a bad back end site. There's a few other sites at Wayfarers, pretty much the same. These are the bathroom facilities that look fairly nice. This campground is quite similar to West Side in that it is a ways off the lake, period. But it does have a marina and a boat launch. So now we're in Big Arm State Campground. Site A2 is, pretty small. We're close to the lake, but it's a small little site. Here's A3, a back-end site, not too deep, but again, all this is close to the water, and it does have some lake views. Now be warned, the road is rough and kind of a steep, tight turn to get down to the lower level. So here's A5, which is right on the water, pull-through site. As is A6. Now A6 is a tight pull-through. A6 is a tight pull-through with some angle to it. A7 is also a pull-through, but with trees and all kinds of things in the way, so not recommended for a large unit. A8 is another pull-through, and A9 is quite interesting, but not made for a trailer, only for a camper. In fact, most of this park is pretty much set up for campers and small motorhomes. It could be a little tough with a trailer, but it is right on the water. So if that's your setup, this is a good place to come. Now we're in the higher A numbers, and this is actually paved, and you can get to the sites. So A11 is tight. Again, you probably wouldn't want to do it with a trailer. A12 is right on the road, but it is a longer site. A13, A14, they're all just lined up on the edge of the road. So still, I don't think this is for trailers. I would still recommend only campers and smaller motorhomes, but right on the water. Now we're in B loop of Big Arm, and B4 is a back end that could be used for a larger unit. But again, all these rest of these sites are just lined up. They're not very large. Like this little trailer couldn't be more than a probably 18-footer, barely got in there. So again, except for B4, it's nothing but smaller units in here. Unless you want to park your trailer and park your car somewhere else. But all these are right on the water as well. Now this one, I didn't see what number that was, unfortunately. Actually had a large unit in it. And now we're down here at B15, so that one must have been B14. These actually, you can fit a couple bigger units in it, and maybe even B16 down here at the end, a back end site. And up on top, B17 is a nice large site for a bigger unit. B18 is a nice large site for a bigger unit. And you're still very close to the water. Not on it, but close. So B17 and above, you have some room. One thing we just noticed that this campsite, while on the water, does not have electric. So if that's important to you, you should look at one of the other camps. So now we are in Finley Point State Campground, Site 1, nice and level, nice lake view. We're still above the lake a ways. Site 2, these are actually paved sites with electricity. And this is paved fairly deep, not too bad. Looks pretty level. Site 3 is another back end. These are all back ends so far with lake views. Site 4 is a back end, nice, fairly deep. They all are paved and look pretty level. Site 5, again, lake view. So the odd numbers have lake views. The even numbers up here on this tier do not have lake views, but they're all back end sites, and they would tell you how long of a unit they will take. And they were above the lake, but not as far as some of the others. After you get above 10 or above, all the sites are back in the back with sparse lake views. There's actually sites 10 through 12 that are back away from the lake with some views through the trees, because beyond 12 is down below, which we're going next. Now below us here, right above the lake, are tent sites. Quite nice location. Here are additional tent sites right on the lake. And we have campsites 13, all again back end sites, but nicely deep and right on the water. So up until site 18, and that's their highest site. This is by far the premium campground that we have seen. And here, right next to the campground, is marina with multiple slips and dock sites. So yes, this appears to be the place to be. Hi everyone, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel Travel with Rolar on YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. Appreciate it very much.
If someone could show you how to save a lot of money while you're traveling, would you be interested? If someone sold you a booklet and they guaranteed you would save in the first year more than what the booklet cost you, or they'd buy it back, would that interest you? It seems that it would, especially in this time of high inflation. And that's exactly what I do. I have a 30-page booklet that I'm selling. And the normal price is $14.99. If anybody orders it prior to February 27, 2023, I will discount it over 30% to $10. That includes shipping. And if you do not save at least the $10 you paid for it in the first year, which if you don't do it and then you're not using it, I will buy the booklet back from you. To give you an idea, we went on a trip that should have cost us almost $3,000. We paid less than $1,000 for everything. That was hotel, train, rental car, all of it. We just took a trip to Fort Collins, and just in gasoline alone, we saved around $10. And our hotel, which is one of our least savings, smallest savings, was around $20. But that's still $30 right there. There are times I'll save $80 to $100 a night on hotels. I showed my brother-in-law real recently how to save $150 on a plane ticket. So there's a lot of useful information in this. And again, if you do not save at least the amount of money in the first year that you paid for the book, I will buy it back. So please let me know. Go to Travel with Rolar, which is the name under which the video is posted, Travel with Rolar at yahoo.com, and you can order my 30-page booklet, and it covers hotels, planes, trains, rental cars, campgrounds, national monuments, gasoline, all of that shows you how to get discounts on all of those items. So I hope you'll order the booklet, and especially with the price guarantee. Again, thank you for watching our videos.